Greetings and salutations on this fine Monday. I don't think there's any such thing as a fine Monday. This is not entirely about Canada, but I'd like to go over Canada first. And by the way, there's a huge number, any huge number of Canadians that actually asked me to make this. You know, every time I mention Canada, never been to Canada. My rich buddy's been there. Talks about how clean and beautiful it is. Every time I mention Canada, there's always 2 or 3 Canadians that email me. They say, "Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about." It's like I'm getting this information from the Canadians themselves, an enormous number. So should I listen to the 1,000 Canadians that have been telling me this stuff, or the 3 Canadians that that email me in protest? I find that kind of ironic. And everybody, of course, wanted me to talk about the Canada convoy. You know what I find really fascinating? And there have been a lot of funny stuff happening lately in Canada. And by funny, I mean just absolutely outright bombastically hilarious. That the Canadian the government there, they're reporting 2,700 trucks. 2,700. It's something like over 80,000. One of the advantages of, being a funnel for information that people, love to send me. One guy sent me all sorts of drone footage that he did of Ottawa and all over, including the trucker convoys from drone and videos, because a lot of the Canadians kept sending me the same video that I've seen that video already like 20 times. Everybody keeps sending me the same video. But I did get sent a lot of unique stuff. Yeah, the notion of this 2,700 trucks is absolutely ludicrous. I know X number of Americans actually crossed the border to support the Canadians. Also, too, the bourgeoisie of Canada, and every country has their own snobist, elitist class, people that are completely detached from reality. Let them see what happens when none of their luxury goods or the stuff that they want to buy are being delivered. Let them find out who actually delivers that stuff. Isn't that fascinating? It's like, gee, all that luxury stuff that I like to buy, not meaning me, because I don't do that. Trudeau, before I get to what Trudeau said today, oh, by the way, and this is just stating a fact, okay? I'm not going to offer any opinion on it, even though I'd like to. Trudeau is juiced, yeah, and he has the coof now. I'd like to comment on that, but I'm not going to. That's all over the news. If you don't take my word for it, verify it. So I've been watching tons and tons of stuff about the Canadian convoy. Hopefully the Australians will see what their Canadian brethren. A lot of Canadians immigrated, mostly South Africans actually from South Africa, immigrated to Australia. But there's a huge connection between Canada and Australia. Maybe the Australians will stand up and see what the Canadians are doing. Canada is definitely in a contest with Australia, not literally, figuratively, to see who could be the most radically totalitarian. Canada looks like they're winning the race with Australia on that one. Yeah, let the Canadians and the Gov find out who delivers their food and their luxury items and their stuff. Let them find out about that. Here's a fact. Trudeau, there's another name I have for him, but I'm not going to say it. Trudeau said that those truckers were a fringe minority. Well, that just made it worse. I knew when he said that it would actually make it a lot worse. And by a lot worse, depends on what side you're looking at it. A lot worse or a lot better. A typical pseudo-intellectual totalitarian in the United States, cartoonist, he drew the little trucks. Not that this matters at all. It just shows you where these people's heads are. He drew all these trucks, and on the sides of the trucks he drew fascism. So that's what he thinks of the truckers that are... This is fascinating, and we need to redefine that word, FASCISM. CISM. Yeah? What that means now, what this word means from like 2019 until today, what that F word means now is that people that love freedom, they don't want to be told what to do, and they don't want to be repressed, they don't want a camera shoved up their skirt. Not literally, figuratively, okay? Meaning sticking, that's what the word now means, because everybody, all of these totalitarians that use that word are using it against people that are trying to stand up for freedom, individual rights, not being told what to do, not being told to do with their body. I've been hearing for decades, my body, my choice, remember that? I guess that doesn't apply anymore. I'm not going to comment on that, but I have, just as well as you have, been hearing that for decades. My body, my choice. Well, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Oh, really? Why doesn't it again? Why? I'm just asking a question. Trudeau said today, oh, by the way, Trudeau is in hiding. He fled to a safe location. All the trucks and all these protesters, and I saw drone footage. Thanks for the drone footage, by the way, you sent me of downtown Ottawa. Trudeau fled. I don't know if his tail was between his legs, but he fled to a safe location. I don't know if it was a bunker or where he fled to. But anyway, he came out of his hiding hole today. And this is fascinating. You talk about oblivious. This is what Trudeau said in a roundabout fashion. It's almost exactly what he said, some of the stuff that he said. He said, you don't have, talking about to the truckers, he said, you don't have a right, he said, you have a right to be heard, blah, 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 which is true, And he said, but you don't have a right to shut down democracy. I'm pretty sure the person that had been trying to shut down democracy was him. And the reason why the truckers have been clogging the roads and endless hordes of Canadians, with their maple syrup and stuff. Yeah, I'm not making fun of Canadians, okay? Chill out. Hoarded into downtown Ottawa and various other places is because this guy, as well as his cohorts, were the ones actually trying to shut down democracy. So he says, you don't have a right to shut down democracy. Excuse me, let me ask a Canadian a question, because I definitely am not pretending to speak for any Canadian. I actually have 4 good Canadian friends, of which I've known for, one I've known for over 20 years nearly, good close friend. Let me ask the Canadians, doesn't that seem a bit oblivious to you? We call this projection. Projection is where a clueless rube, pseudo-intellectual, totalitarian, they accuse you of the very thing that they themselves are guilty of. It's called that projection. Yeah, projection. 2,700 trucks, my butt. I mean, I've seen drone footage with over 2,700 trucks on it. The funny thing is, I got to ask the Canadians this, because I've seen footage from Canadian media, which most of it's controlled by the state. Kind of reminds me, Canada reminds me of the BBC, right? Also, too, under the crown. Canada, even though it's technically not, it still essentially is, apparently. This is what the Canadian media are saying about the truckers and all the people that are protesting for freedom. Unbelievable. They're saying, literally, I've seen video clips of a few reporters in Canada. They say, Russia might be behind this convoy, the trucker convoy. Are you kidding me? That's the same stuff they were pulling here in the United States for years and years. I don't know if you've ever followed the United States media, which I don't. I can always hear about it at the side of my ear, but I don't actually take it in to myself, because 99% of what they say is lies. Another fascinating thing is that the media up there, as many Canadians have told me, are not covering it at all. Except for Rebel News. Also, too, here in the United States, there's only about that percentage of the media. Not that I care about the media, that are actually covering the trucker convoys. Elon Musk has commented on Twitter a few times. So the media refuses to cover it, and they downplay it, say 2,700 trucks. 2,700. Really? It's over, by now I've been told it's over 100,000 trucks. 2,700 versus 100,000. There's a little bit of a disparity there. It seems like the media might be lying. So all the Canadian media are dumping on the truckers except for Rebel News, that I've been told, and that seems to be evidently true. The Canadians that I know live in Western provinces, and they've been telling me forever that it's not that they can't stand, the Quebecois in the Eastern provinces, which are Western Canada, from all I can gather from the Canadians, is exactly like the South. People that love freedom, like leave me the hell alone, let me live my life, you know, that freedom-loving individual, rough individualist. And Eastern Canada is like our joke here in the United States, and the joke would be like New York, New Jersey, Chicago, California, Washington State, Oregon, the west coast of Oregon. Eastern Oregon is completely different than the west coast of Oregon, so I don't have to go to Canada. I've been told that so many countless times. So yeah, Trudeau fled to a safe location. Here, and that's leaving. I'm stopping to. I'm ending talking about Canada now. Fringe minority. That was so. I knew that would really, really, really inflame and piss off the Canadians. This is really one of those let them eat cake moments. I mean, totally clueless, totally into projection, calling them fringe, like fringe loons or something. These are the people, by the way, Canadians or especially Americans, these are the truckers. These are the people that truck your food in and all your luxury stuff and your clothing, everything that you have that you're out buying and using and consuming. Yeah, why don't you piss off the truckers? That is a really, really, really good idea if you don't have a brain at all. It's a really excellent idea. If you don't have a brain, it's a perfect, brilliant idea. You remember all the here's what's happening in the United States, which is absolutely disgusting, is that United States Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, I'm going to call him Buttigieg, what they're doing with the infrastructure money, a certain percentage of it, is they're going to install a gazillion speed and safety cameras all over the place. It has two advantages. These things always pay for themselves. They pay for themselves very quickly, by the way. It lets you spy on everybody all the time. I remember at like downtown London where there's like a camera every 5 square feet. 5 feet. You can't go 5 feet without spotting a camera that's looking at you. And the second thing it does, it will collect an enormous amount of money from fines and traffic fines and stuff because you don't have to be there. You just click the license plate. Absolutely disgusting. So that's where this infrastructure, a percentage of the infrastructure money is going. You can get to spy on people, and you get to collect a whole lot more money. It's like, how do you pay for this stuff? Well, we'll put up We'll put up cameras absolutely everywhere, even in the most remote parts. And anybody that goes over the line or does a rolling stop on a stop sign, we'll send them a fine. They'll take an image of their license. Isn't that wonderful? Ireland and the UK are opening up, and I'm going to speculate on this, that I'm about 100% certain it'll exactly be like Australia opening back up last year, where all these Australians were, riding me down. It's like, oh, mate, you crazy. Everything's opened up here in Australia, and then about a month or two after that, like major lockdown. So it's that whole grab someone by the neck until, and then you let go, and then you grip it tighter. This is staged front on how you go after someone, the same way you cook a frog, slowly turn up the gas. So everybody in Ireland and UK, and I hope they do stay open, and Scotland too, Ireland, UK, Scotland. I hope they do stay opened up. But this is the exact same thing that happened in Australia. All the Australians, oh mate, everything's back open here, mate. We just only locked down for a couple of months. It was pretty bad, a few months. Everything's open back up. I said, wait. Oh, you crazy. That's what, oh my God, there's hundreds of Australians told me that. Well, so let's give it a half a year, which I know it won't last a half a year, and then Ireland and UK and Scotland will go back into some sort of abysmal lockdown. This is perfect divide and conquer op going on. But that's only my speculation on that. So do I have any cold hard facts other than this is exactly what happened in Australia? No. Deutschland and Österreich, Germany and Austria and Canada and New Zealand have actually gone, as the Russians would say, Совсем сумасшедшие. Sumashedche. Nuts, bonkers, insane. So you got Ireland and UK opening up, and as well as also to the Netherlands, I believe, or was it Denmark, opening up, and Scotland. But go in the complete other direction. You have Deutschland and Österreich and Canada, Germany, Austria, Canada, New Zealand. Let's not forget the Kiwis. By the way, I watched the video footage that a bunch of Kiwis, New Zealanders, sent me of your PM, yeah, your Prime Minister, with this huge giggling grin talking about all the suicides that had happened in New Zealand. The more she talked, sorry about that, the more she talked about the suicide, I'll edit that out of this video, the more she talked about the suicides, the bigger her grin got. It kind of went from ear to ear, kind of like the Joker. More suicides. She said, suicides keep going up. I thought it was kind of fascinating. Yeah, that was really fascinating in a horrific sort of way. Maybe some of the world could take note of what Canada's doing. And apparently it is ramping up in Canada as far as people that aren't just, and it's none of my business what people do in Canada. Obviously, I'm not a Canadian. I don't even pretend to speak for Canadians. But I hope more of the world kind of watches what Canada is doing. I don't tell anybody what to do or how to live their lives or what to do or not to do. There's a lot of really heinous stuff that's going on. We all kind of don't care about it anymore because it's been going on for so long, and this is perfectly planned. If you think this has not been planned out by supercomputers, which it has been, it's like we do this, 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 and this, then it'll be much easier to take control, do a reset. I mean, you're just, that's not a conspiracy, it's just fact. All of this has been planned to the nth. If you have enough variables, you can plug it into an algorithm and you can see what's the best methodology to achieve your goal. It cannot be done quickly and fast, as the Deutschlanders would say, a blitzkrieg. It can't be done because resistance is too strong. It would completely fail. In any country, it would fail. It can't be done that way. Right around the neck, loosen up, tighter, loosen, tighter. Everybody's, in most countries, have been used to this. It's not going to let up until their agenda is achieved. Does that sound like some sort of tinfoil hat stuff? You know, 3 years ago I would have said absolutely 100% yes, but now absolutely no way. Everything points at that. I've actually not encountered a single person that doesn't think there's a reset going on. Not a single one. I even talk to them. I mean, people around me and other places say, you have any inkling that there's not a reset going on? Oh no, there absolutely is a reset going on. But nobody seems to care. They don't actually know what that entails. It doesn't entail anything good. Don't you find it fascinating? And all the stuff that you can't talk about. All the stuff that I can't talk about, you can't talk about. The tighter they grip, whether that be the WEF or any particular specific government, or taken as a whole, tighter they grip, the more it slips through their fingers. The information, there's main avenues of information. We all know what those main avenues are. But it's not going to stop the truth from getting out. There's absolutely no way. Not going to be. This is times where you have to give praise and almost create an altar to the dark web, towards for VPNs. The information will be got. It will slip. It can't be stopped. It's completely impossible. The very things that allow for control are the very things in medium by which, and through which the information cannot be stopped. Can't be. No matter how big the tidal wave is, it will reach the other side. That the info that so many entities want to stop. The stuff I talked about a few weeks ago, I've had at least 2,000 emails about it. People don't even watch the tube. They're like, "Oh, so and so told me about this, and I can help me." It's fascinating. There's a handful of us that knew this was coming, but we didn't think it would come so soon. Well, actually, I kind of did. I'm surprised it took this long for it to come down. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I read every comment. I'd love to know what you think. Like I said, I don't pretend to speak for Deutschland or Österreich or Canada. This is my imitation of an angry Canadian. Oh, geez, you burned my house down. Oh, that's pretty bad, eh? I'm not gonna. That's not very nice. I don't think I'm gonna invite you over for Thanksgiving. It's my imitation of an angry Canadian. Come on, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I like Canadians. I love to visit it. Like I said, my rich buddy goes up there all the time. Talks about how beautiful and clean it is. He loves going to Canada. I don't have the money to go to Canada. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye. Let me know. I love information. I'm an information sponge, just like SpongeBob, right? Goodbye.